So high I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Times don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world but keep the sky on your mind.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome into Flying with Mike. It seems like we were just doing this a few minutes ago. Oh, wait, it was a few hours ago. But anyway, folks, we had a late night. It was fun. Nice little Sim Air Force action. From Joint Base Andrews over to Scott Air Force Base. Hope you all enjoyed, and that tape is up at YouTube. No, it really wasn't lying. This time, we actually did go to commercial break right off the bat. All right, folks, well, we'll kind of keep things rolling here. We'll give them that minute to get back here so that they don't really miss much. We got a short flight planned. We'll see how time we have available once we get to Los Angeles. Now, also, the coming up on VATSIM, that's real dicey when we're out here on the west or the east coast. So show you why here once we have everybody back up and going. It's mainly a frame rate issue, so that's why sometimes we don't do online. Part of it also, the way the controllers can be out here, but I don't like to put it all on them. It is actually Flying with Mike being a little courteous to them with frame rate issues. We watched it, I think, unfold at Copenhagen a few weeks ago. It isn't pretty, folks, and it is what it is. You know, welcome to the world of computers. And yes, I'm still tanking on coffee from the overnight flight. All right, I'm showing we should be getting everybody back now. So welcome to Flying with Mike, currently scheduled San Francisco to Los Angeles. If I think we have time afterwards, we've got another one in the can. However, may not be able to get to it. There's been a lot going on here, aside from some sleeping issues and all for me. Besides that going on that has held up the start here. So we are going to do our best to at least get this stream in if we don't get possibly another one. All right, so again, Pan Am Virtual. That's who we're flying for today, folks. And you can check them out here at this website, crew.paavirtual.com. Folks, a great little VA that's out there. It's got TWA of all things with Pan Am. Folks, if you want to get into that with TWA and Pan Am, it's out there. It's kind of comical. The two are in one. And then it bodes to think if the two could have really came together back in the 80s and 90s, could they have come together and continued on with their legacies? They are two major legacy airlines. People know them. And would have been interesting to find out, but we never will. They couldn't stop burying the hatchet in their own backs before just burying the hatchet outside of each other. So, some of it warranted. Don't get me wrong, folks. When you read it, you'll find out. Yeah, some of it was warranted. So, all right. So, anyway, we're going to set up here and get this plane going. It does take a little bit to get the Queen going. So, without further ado, let's get up on that flight deck and get the pre-brief going so we can get the flight going. And I haven't done that in a few days. Wow. Sorry, folks, hit the wrong button. All right, so we're going to be using Sim Toolkit here today. Just loading it all up. There we go. Okay, today's flight's the Offshore 2 GVO departure, Victor 27 to VTU, Victor 299 to SADDE on Raider to Raider 2. All aiming for 24 right. All right, so there you can see the route, folks. Doesn't look too busy right now out there. I'm gonna go ahead and file to be on VATSIM, but we'll kind of see how frame rates and all come into play. That's where our biggest issue lies, folks. And now I can actually begin to say with a 3-year-old, 3.5-year-old computer, it can be part of the cause. So, all right, just filling in the blanks here. And don't need that there. Okay. All right, so we got that filed for we got about an hour to get it going. So I think we're in pretty good straits. Who knows? We may actually have ATC up by then. All right, so for now, the loadout. Now, it's going to show 366 peeps and 16,000 pounds of cargo. I may bring in a little more. I haven't figured out if we'll just go with this loadout or not. But suffice to say, we'll have 83,720 pounds of payload. So the zero fuel weight will be in the neighborhood of 470,400 pounds. Ramp crews are putting on 58,620 pounds. Might be more. We'll show you why all of this is kind of, well, the way it is. We'll just go there. And we've already talked about the route. We're going to leave 28 right, or no, 28 left, unless told otherwise. I tell you. And we are going to do Mach 0.85, not at 17,000 feet. Oh my goodness. Dispatch, what are you doing to kill us here? So, all right, well, we'll kind of play this one all out by ear, folks. Wow, is all I got to say. Um, sure enough, gave us 17,000 feet. Wow, to go 400 miles. Yeah, I think we'll be up around 30. Yeah, we'll at least get her up to 31,000, I think. Wow. Boy, gotta love, feel the love from dispatch there. All right, so from San Francisco, the weather winds are out of the northwest, 320 at 8, 10 miles visibility. Got some pesky clouds at 600 feet. Nothing to set a ceiling or cause worry of a return landing into low IMC. All right, and Los Angeles. It looks like the winds are right down the runway for 24 right. 250 at 10, 10 miles. Got a few clouds hanging around at 1300 and 1900. Again, nothing ceiling wise, so should be a pretty good arrival, folks. All right, with that, let's get going, shall we? All right, so here we go. All right, folks, just checking in with the family. Okay, so we are in the process. Now, this is a three-man crew. I like to show this a lot so people get it. Captain, first officer, they're what I call the pretty boys. They're the ones that get all the credit when we do our job right, you know. However, the guy that should be getting all the credit is this man behind all of that. He's the guy that monitors and makes sure the air, the hydraulics, the fuel, all of that is running great. Engines, the whole 9 yards. So he's the one that actually made your flight comfortable. The pretty boys just made sure we got to the right airport. But anyway, and you know that there were instances where the aircraft landed. I'll give you one. I won't give the airline. Supposed to land in Denver, the old Denver, Stapleton, but instead landed in Colorado Springs. Close, about 25, 50 miles off. Actually, more than that. But anyway, kind of a funny thing. Check it out. There was, yep, and it wasn't all too long ago. It was back in the early 2000s, if not late 1990s. Not a good day for that crew. But the flight engineer did his job. Plane engines were running good. Anyway, we have fun with those two up here in the front. All right, so let's go and start after. So basically, folks, the easiest way to tackle this plane, if it says test, click on it. Pretty much. And then you've got some fine tuning to do here and there. We'll show you that, but here we go. We're going to be wanting that APU on soon. Okay, got our galley powers on, trim airs on, and our recirculating valves all are on, plus the Gasper valve. We'll come back. We got more to do down here. Continuing. Like I said, if it says test, we test it. Now I'm going to move the I set here to further back because the next set of tests we do involve the overhead panel, namely where my mouse was running. Okay. All right, so we've just checked our engine fire and overheat along with our cargo protection. Okay, now up here we have another one. Like I said, folks, I see the word test, we test it. Now, there are a couple here that we're going to do that are a little, well, they do, but they don't show the word. The word test is actually on the button. And what we're doing is checking to make sure each of the main landing gears show a hot indication. Okay, and then we check our gear doors. Again, it says tilt, but not test, but we still test them. And let's make sure we got plenty of potable water. And let's do an anti-skid test. All right, that's all good. Moving into the middle now. I'm going to start up here. We're going to get electric pump 4 up and running. Quantity test. Okay. And let's move in here to the pressurization. All right. Now, I told you we had a few things to work through here. Hang on. Let me just get a page up here real easy for me to get weather. Okay, so in San Francisco, the current altimeter 2992. That's cool. And I'm going to keep us at 31. So I'll set for 35, 2992. Okay, so we got our pressurization set. Now, I'm going to move down here to our fuel pumps. All right, first we're going to do used, reset, gauge. Oh, wait. Okay, let's do a gauge check. I didn't have these up and running here. All right, so everything's looking good. They go through the test real quick, folks, and we're out. Okay. And then we're going to do a fuel check. Okay, the reason these lights didn't go off, give me a second. No fuel. And then we're going to do a cross-feed check. Okay, and everything worked good here. Okay, finally on this panel, we'll work our way over here, check our engines, make sure second column or second row, that's your oil, you're above 5 gallons. And then we'll turn up our panel lighting. Okay, and last but not least, do a light bulb check. All right, light bulbs all check out here. We do this twice, once on the engineer, once on the overhead and main and center panels. Okay, yes, some people have, oh, I have forgotten one thing. Oh, shameful, shameful. That's all you got to do for the jettison check. Just make sure. The iPads, you're right. They wouldn't have been there in the 747-200 days. You can turn them off, folks, in settings. So, all right. Now we're going to go ahead and move forward and up. Just kind of walking our way down. We do not have a rejected takeoff selection here, so it's recommended to stay off. Anti-skids on and armed on the body gear steering. Lights are set, and we'll go nav. Things set, go to nav. Now, when you do your cockpit voice recorder check, just hold the button, the needle will spike twice, then you're good. Okay, start valve's good. Emergency lights armed by just closing. and seatbelts, and no smoking are on, doors locked. And we're just working our way down, folks. Okay, let's go ahead and make sure the navs are on. Logos, gotta show off the world, folks, on the tail, the Pan Am logo. Oh, that was silly of me. Anyway, folks, these would normally have been off. You turn them on. Hopefully I didn't mess things up. I just might have. Testing them out. Okay. Bottom row goes out. All right, and we'll turn the power off there. And one more time with the light check. All right, everything's lit up here. And here. Okay, work our way back up. Shut the lights off. All right, down to the middle. Few things we're going to be checking here. Bear with me a second. San Francisco 28 left. Frequency for the ILS is 109.55. Okay. All right, so why did we set this? Well, this aircraft and many in that day had a way to check radios to make sure they were receiving properly. Okay, after you get your panel lights set, right next to it, your radio and INS switch. Think of it today world, nav, GPS. You know, this switch that a lot of airplanes have. Think of that's what that switch really is. You're either on your radio navigation or you're on INS or FMS or GPS. All right, now why we set, folks, I'm just going to reset these for now. We're going to do an up, left, down, right. What we're doing is checking that our needles are working properly. So we set the ILS up, pick a runway, set it up, and go with it. Up left. Okay, glide slopes are showing. Localizer went left. Down right. May not move the localizer, but it will show a down GS. There it is. And yes, it did a little bit. Could see it move. And then I just go like that. Actually, I'm going to go to 15. Eight, and put this on 55. We'll get over to it in a second. Flight director looks good. Off on the auto throttle, off on the autopilot. Feel free to set your 284 right now if you'd like. Saves you the time, and then your course is up here for your different radios. Vertical speed should be normal. I bring this up to 5,000. You'll see why in a second. Our speed, our climb, auto throttle climb, I don't know the exact terminology I'm looking for here, but that is set to off. You can climb via VS, IAS hold, Mach hold, meaning pitch, how your aircraft climbs. And we do a check over there, looks good. Alt hold is off, select is off. Up left, okay, down right. Downright good. And I'm just going to pull it off for now. And again, radio INS set well. Set to the way it should. Radidio. All right. Going to slide a little over. Okay, clock is set. Time is correct. Working our way over. Do a test here. Looks good on our attitude indicator. The other reciprocating one on the flight engineer or first officer, my bad, will not work. To test 1, to test 2, reset, good lights, hang on. Okay, now the fun part. Okay, all the lights are on there, all the lights are on there. Where am I saying? Right in here. So click, click. So we're looking for, are the lights lighting up? And yes, they did. Okay. Next test. We're just doing a max indication reset. So we're not going to see anything. This one, we push, and then we dial down. All heard that one before. And I set it back to 5,000. So many standard instrument departures I find start there. And none of you have ever heard. Oh, sorry about that, folks. Oh, my nose is just draining today. Oh, okay. Didn't want to snort in your ears. Wow. All right, so ground proximity.
Pull up.
Never heard
Glide
that
slope.
before.
Glide slope. Pull up. Glide slope. Glide slope. Pull up.
Rudder ratio's good. And then we're over to the first officer's side of the house. All right, I'm going to do one check first. Okay, that worked good. The warning signs came on. Clear and clear. Okay, now we'll move the camera over. PT1, PTT2. Everything's looking good. We've already done that. This should be 2992. And the test of the radar altimeter, although it tested, doesn't sound. Okay, and everything else set well. And move down. And for those of you born not too long ago, you'd have no idea what this is. It's called a cathode ray tube. CRT. They actually have to be warmed up. Y'all are used to your little digital screen monitors. Well, they used to be that. Of course, bigger. Not much, but they were bigger. And yeah, they got to be warmed up. But the nice thing is, Felis and his team have made so the switch on one turns the other one on. Okay, all the switches are set. And we'll come back to setting the flight up here in just a second. Moving on down, we basically are going to make sure our radio frequencies are set. No, folks, this is not a glitch. This is because of where the sun is interacting with the panel. See? Kind of a pain in the rump, yeah. All right, we got our radar on standby, and we have our transponder on X-pounder so that we make sure it's reading mode C should we decide to take the mission and go with the VATSIM. All right, folks, we are done basically with pre-flight. I'm going to head over here. Let's start loading the plane so we can then load the flight, get going. Like I said, it takes a little time to get this thing going, folks. So, all right, now loading this plane's a little more, it's different. I'll put it that way. Not a little more complicated, but it kind of will look that way. Bear with me, it's actually pretty simple. Just realize this feature that we're about to click into, the load calculator, is exactly what it says, calculating what we need. All right, and then we have two separate items to click on. All right. First, let's get our load in the plane. So we'll go 75%, 291. I know it said 366. However, when we look at the zero fuel weight of 470, we're going to find we're only 20,000 pounds off. We haven't even put the cargo on yet that's planned. Okay. 25% cargo plus 290 people gives us 480, 10,000 pounds over. I'm fine with it being over, actually, folks. Quite honestly, I think it's pretty cool. That's the way it should be. A little bit more cargo. The cargo paid for a lot of these flights after deregulation. So it, suffice to say, would be smart to have some cargo on this plane. However, we're only on a 430-mile trip. So let's now we're just going to leave it at 480,909. And let's begin calculating the fuel load. All right, so we got a 434-mile flight. Drop it down. We can only do it in 50s. Okay. We are not going to do 17,000. We're going to do 31. Here comes the fun one, tailwind. In our situation, actually, we don't really have much of a wind. So we'll kind of hold off. But our alternate for today is Ontario. Ontario is 88 miles away. So we'll set it to 100. I like 10%. Plus at minimum 20-minute taxi. All right, so I told you about this tailwind. Okay, folks, now in your mind, visualize. If you have a tailwind, what is that meaning it's going to do to your plane? It's going to help push it, speed it up. Those of you that fly across the pond a lot. Going from U.S. to Europe, that ungodly 100-knot wind that seems to plague every one of the net tracks. If you have a 100-knot wind going from, say, Chicago to London, what do you think it's going to do to your plane? Correct. Give you more speed, push you along, maybe burn a little less fuel. Likewise, coming from London to Chicago, now you're driving into it, so to make that speed, you're pushing those engines harder, which means you're burning more fuel. So if you watch your fuel, you'll know which way is correct. So we have a 2-knot tailwind. Whoopee. Sorry, folks. I mean, thank you for a tailwind, but whoopee for 2 knots. Let's go ahead and see. If I go positive, did it lower? You sure did. If I go negative, it sure pushed it up. So you get the idea. Negative's a headwind, positive numbers a tailwind. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. Now we estimate 58,000. I'm actually going to just leave it as is. And folks, the aircraft is now calculated correctly, ready to go. You can look at your load sheet if you're so inclined and have to see it. But now, how do we get this into the plane? That's what's most important, right? First off, refuel. Okay, always click load sheet first. Use load sheet data. I'm going to instantly load the fuel just because that can take some time. Okay, now you could call the tanker to reach whatever the difference is up here. Not me. Now, for the payload, use this. Okay, you're going to be loading 14 crew members. Right now, there's 0 packs, 0 cargo. So we're going to be putting 291 people in, cargo of 30,200. Again, you could instantly board or load them, and they're like, poof, flight crew's dream. The passengers are finally on the plane, but they appear all at once. Or, like the real one, board, load. And look, cargo's going to get on maybe before the 10th passenger. No, just kidding. Yeah, they're all lollygagging along. But that gives us time to do other things. So we're going to leave that there, work our way back over here, start plugging away on our route. And yes, I saved it. Save some time. Now I just got to find it. SFOLAX1. All right, and today we're going to verify everything. We already said we're not doing runway 1. Let's take a look here, folks. Okay, we're going to bring charts in. We take a little time here to show you. One gives you a little bit of a pre-flight in our departure brief. We're going to be flying the offshore 2 departure. Runways 1 and 2/8 work for this, okay? Ones, we'd go way up here and over. Technically, yes, we could do runway 1. Real quick, look at the airport. We could do 1 right. It's 8,600 feet, but with a 320 wind, I'm more prone to go with one of the 2/8s. Okay, so that's why I'm going with it. And for that, then, we will take 2/8 left. And now we look for the offshore. Where's the offshore? Up there it is. And I think we said GVO. The heck is GVO? Found it. Way down here. Pretty close to when we start in on our arrival. Execute. All right, so back to F plan. Next, just kind of come through here. Okay, I'm going to just do legs real quick. All right, so we're going to come out to whammy. Okay, so I lied. Sneezy whammy. Boy, I sound pretty good for my life today. Now, one thing you can't do here, folks, is step it off like you do in most Boeings, so we just go to the next page. All right, so we got Seagull, Cypress, Mickey, and MQO. Oro Bay. Oh, I could say so much there, but we're going to just keep going to Gavito. I don't know how you want to say it, folks, but you say it how you want. All right, and then from there, we're headed down to Ventura, which is real close by. I hate to say that. So, all right, so that takes care of that. Let's close this off. Now, we are on the RYDRR 2 arrival. Looks like it starts right here. Kind of confused. Oh, we're starting it right at RYDRR. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, so it's GVO to Golet, Wang, Dino, Henner, VTU, SADDE out to RYDRR. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on a second here, folks. There's a lot to this that's not right. RYDRR. And that's why you should be doing this, folks. Catching things like this. Okay. Execute. Now, I'm going to get up here on the top. Enter. There we go. Much better looking flight. Whoa. All right. Yeah, I'm sure ATC would have gone, what? I got to remember that. Okay. And then for the arrival. Okay, so RYDRR. And then the next page. Kevy, based, Use, Cliffy, Dejour, and out to Gado. And then to our runway. Again, let's choose our arrival. And this could be where it gets us. On the RYDRR, okay, 24 right. Bear with me here, folks. Again, we're going to use the tools in front of us. All right, so 24 right, select ILS. All right, so let's see. Could do the RNAV. We could push on to 11. I think we'll just do 11. Let's take a look at that. 24 right, add. So basically what we're going to do is off here, just keep going and then turn in, or whatever approach tells us to do. Okay, pretty simple. Now, could they turn us in at Kobe? Possible, 6,000 feet. We're just planning for a little bit of an arrival. Okay, not much, just a little. However, we need to get a ILS over here, RYDRR. Let me see this RYDRR. Okay, Eckley, Searle, Snacks, Elke. Can I just select RYDRR? Nope. Okay. Execute. Legs. Next. Enter, RYDRR. Okay, and then out. We went out to Pierce. Kobe runway. Okay, actually we went to Livet. Why did it? Oh, I bet it took it away from us. That's fine. 16 miles out, we'll take. Okay, and 4,000 feet. Actually, we would want to be, 4,000 feet. All right, so there you go, folks. We've got the legs planned in here. And then finally, we go out to Rafts, which is right out here, 15 miles off LAX, and do a standard hold to the, this time it's left-hand turns. Interesting, they're going to hold you right into traffic. Wow. Okay. All right, so let's go to VNAV. Climb looks good, 31,000. I just type it out, folks. Seems to work the best for me. Yeah, 11,000 a RYDRR. Yeah, it's going to not like some things, but we'll make it work. All right, back to F plan. We are ready to go. What I do, oh, sorry, folks. Now, what I'll do over here is put this one on progress. We do not have performance capability on the default um, um, FMCs, so we have to kind of leave them as is. And with that, folks, I believe we're about ready to go. The only thing I have to do is now decide how heavy is traffic out here and will it affect us. Probably will. Always has. Okay. Actually, I'm shocked. Wow. Really shocked. All right, well, we'll try it, see what happens. We are standby. Pan Am 150. So goes in as PAA 150, call sign Clipper. Connecting. And we get a squawk of 0602. All right, so now we'll pull this away. All right, so with 0602. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and one thing we do need to do is check for our, and believe me, folks, we're going to run this to make sure everything was checked, not missed occasion. And in some instances, it's ready for us to push back. Okay, so some of this we'll skip and we'll call it when we do it. But let's take a look over here. Aircraft is boarded. See how that all worked out nicely. Air conditioning unit. Oh, I don't think I remember seeing that last time. Maybe I did, just don't remember. You know, that happens at 59 years of age, folks. All right, so we are ready to go. We're fueled. Let me get that APU on. And we're ready to go fly, folks. Okay, fuel pressure is ready. And we're going to go ahead, hold start for about 3 seconds. It's going to spool up quickly here on the, well, let me just kind of zero in on it. On the EGT, then fall back as our RPMs come up to 100. Once at 100, we can now begin bringing it on auxiliary power as well as APU. So auxiliary on, and then we'll get the APU. Now, you can do this if you choose. I do it just because it doesn't take much time. If you're going to check the hertz and volts, you got to have auxiliary power. You have to click them up to close in order to get the lights out and for it to work down here. Okay. Well, that took a long time, didn't it, folks? And it just checks to make sure you've got good power. On or off the ground power. Bleed air's on. So now we are actually, sorry folks, we are actually on internal electrics, internal air. Confirm it. You can check now your packs. Okay, that's half. There's full. You can see the compartment discharge is coming up. Now go to number 2. See how everything, because we still have the air compressor hooked up outside and we're turning packs on, I'm only going to bring these up to half. Actually, I'm going to bring 2 up. Go to 3, same thing. Same time, I'm going to come down here. This is where it's nice to have this here. Click. Ground. No voicing here. And we are off. Okay.
Cockpit to ground. Disconnect ground power.
Ground power disconnected.
Okay, and then lastly, we'll remove the chocks when we're ready to push. All right, and finally, I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, let's just run them all. All right, so we're ready to go, folks. Hope you're ready. Let's go ahead, close some doors. Now, one thing I do want to point out, if you remember in the beginning, folks, your baggage and cargo doors lower, here and here were open. When you load your cargo by the loader like that, they'll close. But if you instant, they stay open. But if you let them load, those will close. Now, the main door, memory serves, I believe, is still open. Oh, we got a good seat. I may not be able to tell. Well, I know one way. Oh, we got to close it. So once it gets to looking like these, folks, then it's closed. All right, we're ready to go. Let's start our checklist up. And I do this, folks, one, because it lets you all hear it. And two, if I miss something, it's there. And see now we're down. We're still good, but if you'd have thrown weather, frame rates go. More traffic, frame rates go. Well, speaking of traffic, let's take a look. I know I saw some people here. Might have just been flyover. I'm just going to go fast, folks. And folks, give me 1 second. We'll be right back to start that check. Hang on just a second. All right, folks, we're back with you.
Before start checklist, please. Gear lever and lights. Down and check. Brakes. Parked. Start levers. Off. Radios. On and check. Flight control hydraulic power. On. INS. Check and nav. Compasses. Slaved. Window heat. On. Seatbelts and no smoking. On. Emergency lights. Armed. Exterior lights. Check.
Flight instruments.
Check.
Altimeters and clocks.
1013. Set and cross-check.
Radio INS switches.
Radio.
Radar and transponder.
Standby.
Indicator lights.
Check.
Engine and wing anti-ice.
Off.
Stall warning.
Check.
Mach airspeed warning.
Check.
Auto brakes.
Check and off.
Body gear steering.
Arm.
All right, folks. One of the ones that catch us a lot,
On.
GPWS, we'll
Autopilot
see.
and flight director.
Check and off.
Takeoff warning.
Check.
Auto flight enunciators.
Check.
GPWS.
Check.
Instrument warning.
Check.
Flight director computer selectors.
Check.
Instrument source selectors.
Normal.
Reserve brake valve.
Closed.
Spoilers.
Down.
Static selectors.
Normal.
Oxygen mask and regulator.
Check and emergency off.
Brake pressure.
Check.
Stabilizer trim.
Check and on.
Rudder and aileron trim.
Check.
Checklist completed.
All right, now the flight engineer.
Battery. On. APU panel. Check. Auxiliary power. Check. Engine oil quantity. Check. Fuel quantity. 60215 pounds. Fuel panel. Check and set. Pressurization controls. Check and set. Bleed controls. This. Check and set. Hydraulic quantity. Check. EPR computer. This.
I just realized I'm trying to talk, folks, with a muted mic. That always works well on air. Probably the best I ever sounded. But anyway, the call was EPR, and he's waiting. What they're waiting on is for me to either set it to GA go around, or I've got it set not top of descent, as some of you think, take off dry. And back in the days, they actually would take off wet, meaning they're pouring water into the exhaust as well. And that would give them extra thrust. Especially if you look at military aircraft, folks, you would see that thick black smoke behind them. That's why. Well, we're takeoff dry, helping the environment ever so slightly. So, how do we get around this? Very simple. Check.
Circuit breakers. Check. Indicator lights. Check. Electrical panel. Check and set. Air conditioning controls. Check and set. Fire control and wing overheat panels. Check and set. Equipment cooling. Check. Passenger oxygen. Check. Hydraulic panel. Check and set. Fuel jettison panel. Check. Crew oxygen. On. Oxygen mask and regulator. Check and emergency off. ADPs off. Checklist completed.
All right, and as you can see, next checklist is after we get them started, so let's get better pushback on the way and get ourselves going. Oh, and for those thinking I forgot, no, I already got the ACARS program up and running. So, you get the better pushback tool up here. By the way, folks, highly recommend. One of those, if you get X-Plane, it is free. Let's see.
ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
All right, so we just need get the chocks off.
Cockpit to ground. Remove the chocks.
Chocks removed.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Cleared to connect. Push us back, taxiway face east. While we're waiting, folks, let's do one last thing over here. Let's get our numbers. Okay, we're going to do a flaps 10 departure. However, 28 left is an 11,380 foot runway. Elevation of the airport's going to be 13. Let's just leave it at 0.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
In a moment. Right, outside air temperature here. 18. 2992, wind 316. All right, set our speed bugs. There we go, folks. So 132, 140, 154. Wow, we're going to eat up 4,500 feet of runway. Ooh. Hey, that's not bad. We're getting a little better on these takeoffs. Awesome. And then here's our flap retraction. Be very careful between flaps 1 and up. They look very close, and you may actually think you've got the flaps up when they're actually still deployed. Okay, let's just do a quick cursory check. Delta's nearby, I see. 2155. Anyone else? Now, there is a scenery for San Francisco. And again, part of my problem is, folks, I'm not certain my computer anymore can handle it. I'm going to get one going so we at least have one brakes off.
Parking brake released.
Starting pushback. And you may start engines.
Okay, starting engines. First, of course, always make sure your fuel switches are on. They are. Now, up top, start valve.
Ready to start the engines.
Ready for engine start.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. On behalf of the entire crew, welcome aboard the Boeing 747 Classic. We will depart shortly after we have our clearance. The cabin crew is finished with their preparations. For now, I wish you a pleasant flight, and I will be back during the flight with further flight information. Cabin crew, arm slides. Starting engine 3.
Start valve open.
Okay, hang on.
All doors are closed and armed. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your chief flight attendant, and on behalf of our captain and entire
N2 is right
20% N2.
is right over there, and he
Fuel
just
on.
told you.
Light up.
Okay, then you can come forward. N2 is not in the forward bank here of engines. It sits right here, row 1, for all 4 engines.
Starter off.
Now, if you do not hear engine stabilized, you have started X-Plane
Engine
11.
stabilized.
That's what you want to hear. You've started the X-Plane 11 ACF file instead of this one, X-Plane 12.
Starting engine 4.
Starter valve open.
Okay. All you do, folks, is just basically you're going to have to go through it all again. But what you can do when you get to the aircraft lift, uncheck the box that says show older versions
20% and 2.
good to go. All it'll show are X-Plane 12 aircraft.
Fuel on. Light up.
The other thing, if you thought you heard it, but you didn't, but yet you're not certain if you started the right one because you didn't uncheck the box. If you don't have any thrust on takeoff, that's your other sign. Now you've really
Starter off.
gone a long way.
If you're traveling with a child or someone who requires assistance, secure your mask on first, and then
Engine stabilized.
keep your mask on until a crew member advises you to remove it. In the event of an emergency, please assume the brake
Okay, 12500. You're probably going, what in the world are you doing? We have to set CTAF 500. Okay, and now we're on it. Okay, now I'm going to start 2 engines.
Starting engine 1.
Try that again, sorry.
Starting
Gotta
engine
hold
1.
it till he says,
Starter valve open.
then you can go to the next one.
Starting engine 2.
Starter valve open.
Theoretically, you could start 3 and 4 together, but you're gonna have to
20% and 2.
go to
Fuel on.
20% and 2.
what is the in between?
Light up.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Fuel on. Light up. Parking brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Starter off.
Twice we gotta hear engine stabilized.
Starter off. Engine stabilized.
There's 1.
Engine stabilized.
There's engine 2. Alright, so now let's head over here. Okay, so close your generators and your, what do they call that? Split system. So basically, you make sure you got all your lights off. Okay, now, wait, I'm going to actually kill the
Tow is
APU.
disconnected. Bypass bin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. Well, see you next time and have a safe flight.
And thanks for flying with Mike. They're better pushback, and again, a free utility. Appreciate the free. Go ahead, get flight. Oh wait, wrong switch. Flight director's on. And I think we got everything. And it saves your place, folks. So we go flight recorder, beacon lights, starters, pack valves, door warning, hydraulics. Go ahead and get those to auto. Huh. Guess United doesn't know where to park. That's okay. Hey, he is United. He had a United call sign. Whatever. Alright, so let's run the checklist.
After start checklist.
Flight recorder.
On.
Start switches.
Off.
Flaps 10.
Beacon lights.
On.
Brake pressure.
Check.
Start levers.
Idle detent.
Engine and the ice.
Off.
Electrical panel. Check. Pack valves. Open. Dual warning lights. Out. Hydraulic panel. Check. Flight recorder. On. After start checklist completed.
Okay, now we can turn our probe heat on, window heats on. I don't think we're gonna need extra lights, flight controls, fuel heat, totalizer, F cargo. Okay, and like it said, now we can actually check our surfaces right here, folks. And you can bring your yokes in right there. See how they're moving on the gauge? And then we could go left, right. Okay, we're ready to go.
Taxi checklist, please.
Flaps.
Thank you.
Flaps 10.
Flaps 10.
Takeoff data. EPR and airspeed bugs.
Set and cross-check.
Stabilizer trim.
Believe we were to be, actually, I am going to .5. It's a little more.
Set in green band.
Probe heat.
On.
Flight controls.
Check.
Yaw dampers.
Check. Parking brake released.
Seatbelt and shoulder harness.
Check.
APU. Off. Fuel heat. Off. Totalizer and gross weight. Set. Flight engineer and pilot panels. Check. Aft cargo heat. Normal. Seatbelt and shoulder harness. Check. Taxi checklist completed.
San Francisco, common traffic, Clipper 150 heavy, taxi to 28 left.
Cabin ready.
One more. Okay, looks clear to me.
Cabin crew, take your seats.
Icing cabin alert. Transponder. Ignition, okay, we'll get that. Body gear, when we get down to our pack valves, we'll close. And fuel boosts on, cross feeds checked, okay. Okay, one thing, folks, it said, engine ignitions to flight start, there's a click spot right there to bring all the switches up. Real easy, and get you back down here so you're back in control of the plane. watch. See your main gear. Let me kind of zoom in. Watch them. See how they turn? That's called body gear steering. Now we're doing extreme here. So that's what you're going to disable for takeoff. All right, folks, we are at the runway. Let's run that check here. So cabin alert transponder set, flight set. Pack valves will close.
Before takeoff checklist.
Icing considerations.
Check.
Cabin alert.
Check.
Transponder.
Check.
Ignition.
Flight start.
Body gear steering.
Hold on.
Okay, we will hold. We're going to come up to the hold line. Now there is an interesting video, I don't know if it's still out there or not, about a little discussion between San Francisco Tower and a United flight here. Quite interesting. I'm not going to play it, folks. You all can go out and look for it. Let me just check, make sure. No restrictions showing. Okay, and no top altitudes. Here we go, folks. And San Francisco Common Traffic Advisory, be advised, Clipper 150 is departing 28 left.
Stabilized.
Okay, I did not want my engines to go up that high on getting it moved. The nice thing here, folks, other than having to be ready with both sets of numbers for both runways, even if they change it on me in a flight sim situation, I don't really care. In the real plane, I will, because it could. There could be a difference in slopes and all of that, but usually these are the same length runways. So, all right, so body gear close.
Disarm.
Pack valves. Let's see. Closed. Pressurization mode selector. Auto. Fuel boost pumps.
On.
On.
Crossfeed
Crossfeed
set.
valves. Check.
Clear for takeoff.
Before takeoff checklist completed. Thrust set.
80 knots.
Okay. I know why.
V1. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Gears up.
Okay, we're getting on course.
Flaps 5. Flaps 1.
Okay, I want you to watch this real careful. Hang on. Because I see how close. Look, you wait, you'll see what I mean. You'll look and go, okay, flaps are up. No, they're not. See how close they are? Flaps up. IAS.
Flaps up.
And
Thousand level off.
$13.7. And you're finding out, folks, you don't have to flip the switch if you don't want to. 203-ish. I'm keeping an eye on it. But we are in climb. Again, you saw how close that needle is, folks. I blew the flap out and had to do an emergency landing, but try something here. All right, Felis, let's see if this works. All right, 10,000. We need to go here. Crap, what was it? We'll be back if it's not working. 307. Going to climb. Ooh. Packs. And we're outside common traffic, so back to Unicom, and off we go. Now, one thing I like, a couple of things I like about the way the overall panel is on the 747 versus the 72. One, yes, your autopilot's up here, but your pitch and what early ideas of auto throttle were down here, and got hard. But the biggest thing I really love about this, thank you, Mr. Felis, the numbers right here. Oh, hang on, we're almost to 307. Having these numbers help immensely. Okay, we'll go into where it's going to hold the IAS speed. IAS, indicated airspeed, on this gauge right here, folks. Okay. Now, that is technically what the 727 does. It just maintains it with pitch. Once you level off, you got to control it, okay? So, we're on our way. And I am not seeing centers. We had Oakland ground and Modesto approach. Now, we can control how much we see here. And whether we're above the aircraft, normal, or below, depending on phase of flight. You all figure that out. But yeah, we're on our way, folks. We're now flying what would be, well, INS, but technically from LA or San Francisco to LA, a lot of this would have been flown VOR to VOR, flying your coordinates. If you remember looking at the chart. Well, first off, let me set us to, well, we're already 2992. Disregard. Let's see here. Hang on, what are we doing? Oh, I'm on the wrong one. 150. Okay, so off the Point Reyes VOR, and I'll show it here in a minute. 151's the radial we wanted to fly. So that's what these guys would do, is meticulously fly exactly what this SID said. Now, let me bring this up real quick because, oh wait, we got lights to turn off and a checklist to run. Hang on. Okay, think we're set here. Let's go here, checklist, next. After takeoff, gear, landing, ignition, seatbelts, pack, fuel heat. And this, folks, is just a warm-up flight for what I've got coming. We're going to do some LA, Seattle, San Francisco work here, hopefully this week. Might even fly out of Greensboro to LA. We'll kind of play things by ear. So I'm wanting to get back into this plane. So it is a highly, highly recommended aircraft. Folks, if you're interested in working in flying, I mean, let me rephrase that. Working in the cockpit of a flight sim aircraft. Okay, you're doing the job of 3 people, 1 person. This is one great aircraft. I can't recommend it enough, folks. The Felis 747-200 over at X-Plane, got the link for you. Currently 127.1, I believe, is the version or something to that effect. But folks, if this is what you like to do, and folks, this aircraft was around when Seattle, Chicago, LA, Minneapolis, Chicago, Miami, Chicago, Baltimore, routes like that were around. It flew them. Short haul. Very, oh, what's the word? Disrespectful of the Queen. The Queen was made to step out, cross the oceans, internationally, or simply, if you want to stay transcontinental, running from, say, Miami to Anchorage or LA to JFK. Of course, out to Honolulu from the West Coast. So, and of course, flying out in the Far East and out in Europe. So, folks, great aircraft for all types of flying. Hey, we're flying 400 miles with it. And that was actually a scheduled flight. Not every day, but every so often. So, if you're going to check out if you're going to jump in, get the Classic, hey, why don't you jump in and join us here at Pan Am Virtual? We'd love to have you aboard. And I get that up here, and hope you all, I mean, truly enjoy. We're through 27,000 already, 12 minutes up. We're about 12 minutes out of our arrival point. And folks, right now, I'm going to say if we do a second flight, it will be again later today. I don't know if that words can happen. I'm reeling from last night's midnight run. Whew. If you didn't catch it, folks, it's over there on YouTube. Love for you to check it, like it, love it, whatever, however you want to put it down. Love what you guys have been doing at YouTube. Just understand this is our primary source right now. We're not monetized at all with YouTube. But here's where we do all the action that you see on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube only and you want to be a part of a live stream, scroll down. Look for Twitch. Come over to Twitch. That's where we are. And if you want to find out when we're live, look down in the flight schedule or on the schedule button. Or get our Discord channel. Got it in a lot of places, folks. Love to meet you, greet you, invite you into the Twitch channel, and invite you to follow us here.
Level off.
All right, we are approaching our speeds. So what I'm going to do, I pull it up here because it's just so much easier for me. Because we got to get up to 0.85, but our top of descent is not very far off, folks. All right, so enough chit-chat. Let's get in here and get ready to land it. I know I owe you to see the departure. So bear with me here as I get us up to speed. All right, let me come down here. Top of descent, 140 miles. Cool. All right, so we're going to get up to speed. Trying something here. I'm hoping I got the right switch. I want to first say thank you, Felis, for coming over, watching a video of ours, one of our longer ones. But I do appreciate you and your comments. I hope I ticked the right one. You were talking about my throttle seemed to be very noisy. I would have a very smart butt answer, but I'm not, because I know you're trying to help. Because I don't get that term. I've heard it a couple times. People have told me this. So I don't understand it fully. Hang on. Do want to do this, though, real quick. Put us in out hold. So I do appreciate it. So I turned, well, I'll show you what I did after we do this.
After takeoff checklist.
Gear lever.
Off.
Landing and logo lights.
Off.
Ignition.
Check.
Seat belts and no smoking sign.
Check.
Back valves. Open. Fuel heat. Auto. After takeoff checklist completed.
Okay, here's what I did. Went to options. And page 2 to 18 blocks user throttle. Turned it on. I'm hoping that's what you meant by it always being a part of it. So that, or I'll figure out where in the literature to find the answer. But folks, I just want to tell you what a phenomenal plane this is, and hope you all, we're going to get her back in action here. We do love the Airbuses, and we enjoy Zibo, folks. Don't get me wrong. So we're going to try and get this more rotating through, and we got some places opening up that I've actually would like to bring to the sim to bring you to it. So, but again, thank you so much for being a part of Flying with Mike, and I hope you enjoy. Hopefully it won't be too loud. The Queen of the Skies. Brought to you by Pan Am Virtual. Hawker, welcome back. Need that 787 to get released. You know, you might enjoy those. I actually enjoy this. And actually, it's PAA Victor there, Hawker. Papa Alpha Alpha Victor. Unless you have something going on there. And DCS, no. All right, folks. So we're basically now in Mach hold. I can't zoom in on it. So that's Mach, that speed. Now I can make this a little bigger, but why? Mach and speed. We'll use speed as we're descending to help get us set up for the approach. 2-4 right. All right, so where are we descent-wise? 100 miles out. All right, I promised it. Let me get it back up here. Got a little busy there, folks. And you're going to find yourself really busy with this plane. I mean, you're working 3 spots, folks. So truly, you are a busy person in this plane until cruise. And if you're short haul like this, you're busy top to bottom. Bottom to top to bottom. All right, so here's our departure. Remember I told you, now most likely a normal Clipper pilot back in the day, I don't even know if the offshore was a departure. This is a standard departure, not an RNAV. RNAV would be fixed to here, fixed to here, fixed, you know, fixes along the way. Now, yeah, you're seeing fixes, but look, they're along a radial. Even this is on a radial, so we would be on 112.4. And tracking 115. Okay, INS, as great as it was, limitation-wise, it had a couple. One was the ground requirement, usually about 30 minutes to get aligned. Okay, usually. Plane can't move. If you want to understand that more, KAL or 007. And no, James Bond was not on the plane, nor MacGyver to save it. Yeah, very sad story. But you can't move it. And two, you got to plug it in by lat-long cords. You can't just plug in Cypress, Mickey, and so forth. You got to put in what the coordinates are. So, anyone see coordinates here? By that I mean lat-long. So, and I don't even see them on the VORs. They used to be on the VORs, so that you could at least tune those. So, that's how you would do it. And you only, in the earlier days, 9 fixes. And then you got to start putting more in for longer flights. Like I said, limitations. However, VOR navigation was still possible. So that's what they would do. They'd come off 281, catch this, I forget what this is off of, Oakland, and fly it out to Whammy, which is right here, met by the 151, turn on the 151 radial and fly it down. Well, we're doing the same thing into, actually, no we're not. This is actually an RNAV approach, meaning we're going to be coming to Ryder and flying. We're not flying to Los Angeles VOR radials here. We're flying to this fix, to this fix, to this, to this, to this. Modern day FMCs. So, but back in the day, there would have probably, I think the SADDE, y'all can refresh me, you can look it up. I think that might still be a standard star approach with VOR to VORs. And of course your ILSs are that. So, all right. So speaking of which, we're going to come into Ryder at 11,000. So good thing here is we're at 31. We're going to minus 11. 20 times 3 is 60, about 70 miles from Ryder. We will start our descent. That way we can make the profile and then swing in for the approach. Oh, looks like departure came up in Los Angeles. We can't get a word in edgewise, we will come off. Matter of fact, I'm just going to see right now how busy it is down there, because I really get flustered when there's so many planes, and it's usually a streamer. No, I'm a streamer flying with multiple aircraft that just won't allow for anyone else to talk on the radio. All right, so looks like approach. We're going to be coming in on 24 right still. Okay. So hopefully SoCal will be hospitable today, and their frequency 124-300. Like I said, we'll give them a shot, but if it gets ridiculous, they're one I normally will not fly online with. There's a couple in Europe that way too, but for the most part, this one in San Francisco, Oakland Center and Los Angeles Center, and everything down. Have a hard time flying with them. All right, I'm not getting into it. We'll just leave it at that. Okay, it looks like SoCal for Ontario and Palm Springs is up. And I think we're going to go ahead and begin our setup for descent. We're on hold here, so we can set 11,000. I do that all the time, folks. I don't know why. Time, Los Angeles, we're looking at 2993. Okay, so if I forget, we're good. Oh, excuse me, folks. Ooh. All right, we are gonna have to start our descent here in, I'm gonna do it about 20 miles out of our intending, and make sure we make that 11,000 by RYDRR.
Fasten seatbelt sign. However, we always recommend to keep your seatbelt fastened while you're seated. In a few moments, the flight attendants will be passing around the cabin to offer you hot or cold drinks, as well as a light meal. Alcoholic drinks are also available at a nominal charge. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Thank you.
Also, it's never a bad idea, folks. Keep that carrot here, that bug set for heading. So if you do run into, all of a sudden this airplane starts going where you don't want it, you can flip it to heading, put it on that heading, figure out what you put in, especially with the INS, folks, because if you put in just one number difference, boy, can that put you in the wrong place real quick. Sorry, folks. Okay, we are at 40. Okay. All right. So we are just about there. Let's take one quick look outside and let our CEO just go, at Pan Am Virtual. Did I pass my... I sweetly did. All right, so let's set this up for descent. All right, and I'm going to come out of... Set for 300 indicated in our descent, and I'm gonna push it just a little harder, and since we're still speeding up, good old speed brakes. All right, folks, and again, Like I said, this will be the only flight. Looking at the clock there, I'm just running out of time to do the second flight in the can. However, we will get that flight flown somehow, some way this week. You know, technically, I could have fun with Los Angeles and say, it says departure, not arrival. I'm not going there, folks. Oh, could I have fun, though? Like I said, yeah. And again, I may not be able to because of frame rates. Matter of fact, speaking of those devils, let's take a look over. Now, you're wondering why I'm not running a checklist. Gonna bring it up here for you to read through on your own, and you're gonna go, well, so that's not until 10,000 feet. Correct. So we'll keep it. We'll kind of look it over and go from there. But right now, you're right. We're kind of in that little mode there. Let's go to performance calculation, though, and do our arrival brief. We'll do our arrival numbers. Okay, so we're coming in 24 right. It's an 8,900 foot runway. So we'll set it up for 9,000. Yeah, we'll set it 8,900 feet. We'll set it there. Airport's 100 feet above sea level. $240 and dry, and the weather here in Los Angeles 21 293, and our I'm like, why is it changing? Winds are 240 at 10. Oh, we couldn't ask for it to be much nicer to us. All right, so we got the basics in. Now let's click the load sheet. Always make sure to do this, folks, so it knows your estimated landing weight and CG so it can get the correct speeds you need. All right, so we're going to go ahead, set our speed bugs, just click. And now it's telling you can eat up the whole runway, or we're going to go medium. So about 5,700 feet. So we're going to still probably get off at Yankee, cross over, come back down Echo to Terminal 2. I'm thinking about parking maybe this side, on the east side of it, to mess with Southwest parked in here. I don't know. We'll see. And always, folks, always make sure altitude select is lit up when you have that ability. Okay, so auto brakes will go medium. Okay, we're set here. We're in the descent now, so time for them to get ready back there to rumble. That's what we might do on the runway. Who knows? Right now, we're about 10,000 feet from our mark. It looks like we're doing pretty good. All right, and 250 is our speed, and that's an at, meaning, folks, 250 is what you're supposed to do, not 220, not 210, 250. Again, you could go to YouTube. There's a lot of great videos out there on that word. So, okay, we're coming to Gullet, then Quang, Dino, Henner, and then down to Ryder. Really not sure when Los Angeles departure becomes a reality. Although I do know we're about to cross transition. So, all right, folks. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's flight. We're in the final moments here, roughly, of getting there. We're just just about ready to go downwind and turn for the runway. So, hope you all have enjoyed. Hope it's been a little entertaining, and more importantly, I hope I've been able to help you out with this plane, because it can be a little daunting. I'm going to go ahead and set this one over here, 13.6, and our ILS of 108. Now, granted, folks, they would be still flipping channels, radios, Santa Monica, LA, to get the right, Ventura, to get on the right courses for the arrivals. So there's a good chance they wouldn't run INS on this one. 108, what did I say, 5? Heading, and now we will break 251. Okay. And the reason I'm not overly concerned with getting back to the transition level, we only go up 1 inch. All right. We're set. We're coming in around Marseille. All right. Aldino, I'm going to go ahead and start slowing her up. Showing some rain, looks like, in them clouds out there. I'm not showing, but I am showing some cloudiness, so. All right, we're going to go ahead and begin our slowdown. Henner will be an all-out slowdown as we get closer to RYDRR.
To level off.
All right, here we go, folks. That's the call. We're getting close to 11,000. Good. We're going to come over Henner. That'll allow us to use that to slow down for RYDRR. And then we'll begin a gentle descent to make Dahur at 6,000 feet. See how frames are doing. Okay, we're doing pretty good. I do have a couple things I'm lacking on. Oh, before that group gets on my case, I forgot to do something. Okay, start dumping the pressure. All right, I am going to begin to start looking at our checklist. While I'm at it, GA, and start.
Approach checklist, please.
Seatbelts and shoulder harness.
Check.
Seatbelts and no smoking signs.
On.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Exterior lights.
Check.
Outer brakes.
Medium.
Radio INS switches.
Radio.
Flight director computer selectors.
Check.
Brake pressure.
Check.
Spoilers.
Damn.
We'll hold it right there. I need to get a hold at departure because, you know, I'm an arrival. Got to give them some fun. 24-3. Los Angeles departure Clipper 150 over Henner, inbound on the Ryder 2 424 right.
Clipper 150 Heavy SoCal approach LA altimeter 2993. Ident. Helicopter 06 Foxtrot leaving my airspace to the southeast. Squawk maintain VFR. Frequency change approved. So long. Radar service terminated.
Squawking VFR. Thanks for the service. 4406 Fox.
Clipper 150 Heavy radar contact 15 miles southwest of the Fillmore VOR. Say altitude.
11,000 for Clipper 150 Heavy.
Clipper 150 Heavy, roger. Are you arriving via the Ryder arrival? You seem to be a little off course.
Coming in direct Ryder at this time, and then we'll be flying it out. Oops. Sorry about that. We are direct Ryder at this time, and then we'll continue it out from there.
Clipper 150 Heavy, roger. Clear direct Ryder. Descend via the Ryder 2 arrival. Expect ILS runway 25 left approach.
Clipper 150 requesting 24 right if possible.
Clipper 150 Heavy, expect runway 24 right, ILS approach.
Thank you, sir. Clipper 150 24 right, ILS approach. We'll be checking, and we'll continue the Ryder 2 arrival descent process. So get that all delegated out. Go about, probably ought to set 10,000 so we don't accidentally drop
1,000 level off.
a low. All right, let's get those lights on.
Cabin crew, prepare for landing.
Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure your seatbacks and tray tables are in their full upright position. Make sure
Armed.
Altimeters.
1013. Set and cross check.
Landing data, EPR, and airspeed bugs.
Set and cross check.
Seatbelts and shoulder harness. Check. Fuel panel. Check. Fuel heat. This. Off. EPR computer. Go around. Cabin altitude. Check. Circuit breakers. Check. Approach checklist completed.
All right, folks. So we'll come over.
10,000.
Kevy at 10,000. Got the lights on already. Cabins getting ready. Got a few miles to go for that.
SoCal departure. SoCal departure, Alaska 514 on the ground at LAX. We have Romeo,
Cabin ready.
gate 69 Alpha. Push and start, possibly on the Charlie.
Alaska 514, SoCal departure. Your transponder appears to be on standby, squawk normal. Alaska 514, push on to Charlie approved, face east.
Push Charlie, facing east. Romeo 514.
All right, folks, we're now at 10,000 feet, working our way to Kevy, then Bayest, then Juice. And we'll set the bottom at 8,000 on this descent, and then 6,000 on the next. Okay, so we've gone through this one. Next will be the landing. Gear flaps ignition, anti-skid, and altimeters. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, set 8,000. Get it on VS. We'll hold it right at about 1,000. Go. And then when we pass Juice, we slow to 210, it looks like. By the way, LAX.
Departure Alaska 514. We got SIM problems. We're going back to the terminal and we're probably going to log off.
Alaska 514, right.
Hey, frame rates look good. Clipper 150 Heavy, you needing us?
Clipper 150, my apologies, you can disregard that. That was just some weird keyboard stuff.
Clipper 150, copy that. Okay, about to 8,000, we'll level and then drop. We'll go ahead and take it on down to 6. Slowing to 210, folks. All right, so we're getting close here, folks. Cliffy, 8 to 7,000. Think we're gonna do that with no trouble. Then Dayor and Gato at 6,000, slowing to 210. Okay, there's Cliffy, and we did that before 7,000, so that's right on track.
Good afternoon, Los Angeles Departure United 2147 at 10,000, speed 250.
2147 SoCal approach, LA altimeter 2993, ident.
Roger, 2993 and identity.
And 2147 radar contact, 7 miles southwest of the Oceanside VOR, say altitude.
Altitude 100. Altitude 10,000.
2147, expect ILS, runway 25 left approach from the tornado.
Roger, expect ILS approach, runway 25 left, 2147.
Okay, here comes 6,000, and looks like the localizer's alive, but the glide slope's trying to think about it. We're still pretty close. We're only 6 miles from the airport.
150 heavy, fly heading 070, descend and maintain 2,600, vectors to final.
Heading 070 for vectors. What was the altitude?
2,600, Clipper 150 heavy.
All right, 070 for vectors, 24 right down to 2,600, Clipper 150 heavy. Go ahead. I guess 210's okay. Okay, we're armed, and we could actually introduce flaps 1. Is he trying to turn us in early? Let's find out. There's Kobe. Yeah, he is. And I am going to oblige. 180.
Flaps 1.
Flaps 5.
Flaps 5.
Actually, 2200s are big speed, but
United 2147, fly present heading, descend and maintain 7,000, vectors to tornado.
Fly present heading, descend and maintain 10,000, vectors to tornado. Thank you, 2147.
we'll look up that arrival. He should be getting ready to turn us. Oh, I got some.
Clipper 150 heavy, turn right heading 220.
220 for Clipper 150 heavy.
Clipper 150 heavy, turn right heading 220.
Clipper 150 heavy, 220. Okay. Actually, we'll keep it on heading until he tells otherwise. Flaps 10.
Flaps 10.
Clipper 150 Heavy, 7 miles from Kobe, maintain 2,600 to establish on the localizer. Cleared ILS from a 24 right approach.
Okay, Clipper 157 or 150 Heavy. Maintain 220, 2600 until established, cleared for the approach. Okay, and as we turn in, we're headed to Kobe. Looks like pretty close. All right, what was our speeds one more time? Okay, 139. Okay, got LAX in sight.
Localizer alive.
Clipper 150 Heavy, wind 26012, runway 24 right, clear to land.
Clipper 150 Heavy, cleared to land 24 right. 160. Actually,
Gear down. Flaps 20. Landing checklist. Gear. Flaps 25. Down and check. Down and check. Gears down. Green light.
Flaps.
Flaps 25.
Flaps 25. Ignition.
Flight start. Flaps 30.
Anti-skid.
Check.
Altimeters. 1013. Set and cross checks. Landing checklist completed.
okay, runway straight ahead, folks. Again, thanks for being a part of this nice little 400-mile.
United 2147, cleared direct Tornado. Cross Tornado at 5000, cleared ILS, runway 25 left approach.
Got a little high there all of a sudden.
Cleared direct to Tornado, cross Tornado at 5000, cleared direct ILS 25 left approach. Thank
But
you,
I'm
2147.
glad y'all came in. See if we can't get her down.
1000.
Gentlemen, we have just been cleared to land. Please make sure your seatbelt is securely fastened.
All right, we're starting to get in on the groove here.
500. Approaching minimums.
Landing.
Minimums.
Sync rate Sink rate. Sink rate. Sink rate.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Check reverse.
United 2147, where are you going?
Auto brake off. 60 knots.
Following the waypoints to limit. Oh, that's my bad. I don't think I had tornado in my route.
United 2147, LA Airport. It's 10 o'clock, 15 miles. Report airport in sight.
Roger,
Out
report
off
when
reverse.
inside of the field, 2147.
Yeah, 2147, turn left heading at 280, vectors visual approach runway 25 left.
Turn left heading 280, sector visual approach 25 left.
And departure Clipper 150's off at Alpha 4.
Clipper 150, heavy taxi to parking via Yankee Echo, cross runway 24, left at Yankee, so long.
Yankee Echo to parking, Terminal 2, Clipper 150.
United 2147, descend and maintain 2000.
Descend and maintain 2000, 2147.
Flaps up.
All right, folks, I'll take a look and see how we did here once we get... Wow, look at the traffic here.
12 o'clock, 12 miles, report airport in sight.
12 o'clock, 12 miles, 2147 has the field in sight.
Do you have the airport in sight, United 2147?
Yes, I have the airport in sight, 2147.
United 2147, cleared visual approach runway 25 left.
Clear visual approach 25 left, 2147.
United 2147, wind 26012, runway 25 left, clear to land.
25 left, clear to land, 2147, thank you.
Okay, let's get the spoilers down. Okay, next checklist. Mission. Hang on, we got some things. I knew there was one more thing up here. Close that.
Departure Alaska 514.
Alaska 514, SoCal departure, good.
I may have straightened this out, so let's try and push back again, please.
Alaska 514, push onto Charlie, approved base east.
Face east on Charlie, we have Sierra 514.
After landing checklist.
Brake pressure.
Check.
Body gear steering.
Arm.
Auto brakes.
Off.
Ignition.
Off.
Engine and wing anti-ice.
Off.
Radar and transponder.
Standby.
Flaps.
Up.
Spoilers.
Down.
Stabilizer trim.
7 units.
Outflow valves. Open. Pressurization mode selector. Manual. Aft cargo heat. Wait. Off. APU. Check. Checklist completed.
That's what I was concerned with, folks. All right, well, we're almost there. Just check over here. Hey, APU's up and running. Okay, Terminal 2, we will come off at Delta 9. Actually, why don't we come on off here?
Parking brake released. Parking brake set. Parking brake released.
Hang on. I don't like... This is one thing that always drives me nuts.
Cockpit to ground. Put the chocks on.
All right, folks, we are in the blocks. All right, welcome in. I can't see it real quick.
Chocks are on.
All right, so we're in. We're blocked. Okay, let me get over here to the APU. We're going to do exactly the same thing, except immediately throw it to the gens, get the bleed on. Okay. Everything looks good here. Oh, we got a Pan Am somewhere nearby us. Where is that one hiding? Over there. Well, nice to see another one. Somehow I screwed up and have some Air Force still on here. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, so we're into blocks, chalked. Okay, they're all rolling back.
LA departure, American 1424 at Charlie 8 with Sierra and PDC, request taxi.
All right, secure cockpit checklist.
1424,
Brakes.
SoCal departure. Caution, the 737 ahead.
Beacon lights.
Runway 25, right,
INS.
taxi via Bravo,
Hold
LA
on.
altimeter
Probe
200.
and window heat. Hold on. Off.
Taxi 25,
Back valve.
Bravo,
Check.
991
Full boost pouch.
24.
Wait.
And Alaska 514 is ready to taxi with Sierra.
Alaska 514, thanks for Sierra,
Off.
runway 25, right, taxi via Bravo.
Reserve tank valve.
Bravo to 25 right, 514.
Let's see. Closed. Hydraulic panel. Wait. Check. Oxygen. Check. Flight recorder. Off.
Emergency lights.
Damn.
Off. Radar. Hold on. Off.
INS. Off. Radio switches. Let's see.
Checklist completed.
All right, folks, we're through it all. There you have it. And you can see now as traffic increases, plus we're in a much heavier concentration of scenery, frame rates do get affected by us. Again, that's what holds me back from a lot of the sceneries out there, but not, you know, completely. All right, folks, let's first close the flight off with Pan Am. Okay, flight should be filed. Get rid of that page. Of course, I gotta log in again. All right, 217 feet a minute the airline has us at. All right, we'll continue this after the break. Be right back. All right, folks, just a couple seconds late. Sorry about that. Had to say goodbye to the grandbaby as she heads back to mom's house. All right. All right, so let's take a look at this on Sim Toolkit, and then we are going to have to call it tonight, folks. For at least now, we'll see if we can't somehow get the other flight in a little later. All right, so there's Sim Toolkit. Y'all may have seen 361 feet they recorded us at. So all we do is hit complete, okay. And here we go. Now from here, folks, you're going to begin to see what you can learn from here. There's a lot you can learn just by seeing the numbers. Not 100% sure we'll be able to run it backwards, but we'll see. Tried that last night and it didn't work. An hour and 22-minute flight, 293 miles. And where did I get 400? Hang on, I gotta look. Yeah, route distance 433 nautical, or 34, and yet they said I only went 293. Huh? Oh well, I don't know what's right, what's wrong. 13,500 kilograms of fuel landed, 1G. That's more important than the number, folks. People didn't realize. 361 feet, 128. That's a good speed. Here's the full report. And this is the part that I learn a lot. Now, for some reason, we ballooned up again, and I don't know where that happens. Maybe I've got the throttle too much, so next time we'll try to pull it back. But here's where you aim for, folks. These big white pads. Now, if you're in instrument conditions, your localizer is right there. See how it's aiming you right to that landing point. There's your pappies. Everything angles you right there. All right, however, we touched down 2,900 feet down the runway, 7 feet off the center of a 150-foot runway. That, in a wide body, could spell sometimes some trouble with those engines on the wings, but not today. And then your pitch, your roll, and all of that, you know. So really a good landing, in my opinion. All right, so folks, let me pull that away. And up top, we're going to try to rewind it, but like I said, last night failed miserably. Well, this is looking more promising. All right, we're just going to go into rewind now. I'm not going to try messing it up anymore. And I am going to go ahead, get our music we use to wrap up the show. And hope you all enjoy. See where we ballooned. We're not going to really see that. It's a floater. See it just float, float, float. That meant I came down the approach too fast. all in all, folks, really good flight. Hope you all enjoyed. We'll see you tomorrow. Aircraft change may occur, who knows, but right now slated from Greensboro to LAX. See you then.
Ground power connected.